Good morning, traders. It is Friday, November the 8th. Taking a look at the charts, we got the SP 500 daily chart, and you can see here the market continues to truck up the 5-day moving average, which is this blue line here. Very similar type of price range or price action as we've seen back over here, where the market just continues to grind higher up this 5-day. It rallies, consolidates, rallies, consolidates. It does this until it finds an exhaustion move, starts to put in a top, and then it starts its downward move with sell-offs and consolidations to the downside. And that's what we're looking for the market to stall out here at any point and start to give us a reversal signal. And when it does, we should see money flow back into the safe havens. But some of the strongest moves, again, I talked about this a week or two ago, that they happen right at the end of a move, meaning we could see this continue to squeeze higher. We could see safe havens have some type of flush down. And then, of course, we'll get very sharp reversals in those asset classes at the end, which is the tough part of trading, because sometimes your timing can only be off 3 or 4 days and you can get a big flush out like what we're starting to see in gold and miners this week. So looking at the SP 500, once we start to break this 5-day, the 20-day will be the next level, which is obviously this consolidation. It's this previous high right here and this previous high over here. So that'll be the next level where price would start to show signs of weakness, or it'll find support there. But once it starts to break down from there, we could really start to see things give way and sell off. And we could see one of these big, sharp drops in the equities market. And of course, if we see that, we're going to see the volatility index spike up. And if we go over to the volatility index real quick, volatility index down near this blue line over here, and we're at this point here where there just isn't much fear in the market. Everyone's just moving out of the safe havens, piling into stocks, and there will be a point here where we see the volatility index spike back up, and everyone who's buying long here will end up buying long equities will end up being underwater within a few trading sessions. But the market needs to roll over, and you never know when it's going to exactly put in a top. Taking a look over at bonds, big move down again yesterday as money's flowing out of the safe havens. Today bonds are trading a little bit lower again. They continue to work themselves down. It looks like they're going for a ABC correction. We get an A, B, C correction, which is a very strong type of pattern, which is the key here is breaking this previous low here on the first pullback. It's breaking this low. You get a big flush of stops being run. Everyone gets spooked out of the play, and that's where you can get a big initial drop, and then we could see a very strong rally going forward. And it's this break of support, because what this means here is when you break this, it means we're now making lower lows, we're making lower highs, and that is the definition of a new downtrend. But when the major bull market trend is to the upside, this is still a bullish phase, and an ABC correction is what ideally you want to see, because this is what flushes most of the players out of the market before it starts its next run higher. Now, if we go and look at the other safe havens, let's take a look at gold. Gold is down again today. Here is a chart of gold. You can see it coming down, testing this blue support line, which is this previous pivot high. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can see it came down, tagged it yesterday, had a little bit of a bounce. Overall today could be one of those flush out days. Ideally, we'll see it sell off, and then we'll see a strong recovery and a reversal. And this is the kind of the key part here, is we want to see it has broken this level. You can argue we got an A, we got a consolidation, we got this C level, this breakout or breakdown here, which is going to flush the stops out. Lots of heavy volume selling going on. Hopefully that'll still be the flush. We'll see a strong recovery, and from there on in, we start to see the market go higher. It's the break of this low here that's really going to definitely shake a lot of people up. So hopefully it'll find a reversal by the end of today. If it closes below our stop level today, then we will exit the rest of our position. Yesterday it did close below our initial stop. I sent out an update saying sell half of your position in it if it closes below our stop at 129.50 yesterday. So you should have closed half of that position at the close, or potentially half of it at the open today, depending on your time frame as a trader. And then the rest of it, if we don't see a reversal today, we end up getting out of the play and moving forward from there. Taking a look over at silver, silver's flushing down. It's already had a big sell-off this morning, starting to rebound. Hopefully we see the precious metals and the safe havens have a reversal this week, this Friday. Hopefully, we see a strong reversal going into the end of the week. We'll have to see how things play out, but sometimes the market just rolls over. There was a lot of negative price action for metals with bond prices falling, increasing the yields, with two news events triggering selling in gold. So there's been a lot of downward pressure here. Hopefully, this will end up being a news-based flush out. We'll see a quick save at the end by the end of the day today. If not, we get stopped out and we just move on to the next trade, and we'll just have to keep moving forward. Taking a look over at energies, natural gas up 1.1% this morning, still continuing to hold up in the series of little bull flags. Hopefully we'll get some traction here and start to see this take off with a cold weather spell coming in, but really this cold weather spell we're having was probably already priced in. That's what this was over here. Again, we're looking for higher prices in natural gas to break this $3 level and really start to rocket higher up into that 350 area, which would move our position deeply into the profits. Looking over at crude, down 1.5%. Crude has just been a mess, really tough to trade. I'm not really have a whole lot of interest in it. Up 1.5% one day, down 1.5% the next. It's just swinging around back to back and no real direction. The overall trend is slowly grinding to the upside, but again, it's trading at these really significant resistance area. We can see we have these upper wicks. Sellers come right back in, crush price, and it keeps reversing. So overall, it looks like it would come down to the lower end of this range, but again, there's not a whole lot of insight in here. If we look at crude channeling up into this range here, it could easily just ping pong around and trade in this range for a little bit longer. If we take a look at two leading sectors here, we got the Russell 2000, which are the small cap stocks. You can see the price action up here where the markets keep gapping higher than selling down. The gap higher, sell down, selling off, the gap higher, sold off. Pretty ugly type of price action. It's getting pretty wild in there. Very similar to this type of price action where it's just chopping around and up one day, down the next. Overall, feels like it's getting into an exhaustion type of top, and small caps should hopefully start to lead the way. We'll see where they end up closing this week, but they could lead the way to the downside. Another sector is the industrials and the transports. Look at the transportation sector. It's had a big push up a couple days ago, sold back down. Yesterday, huge push to the upside, and it sold back down. Looks like topping type of candle. We saw similar price action over here, big rally to the upside. It sold back down. Usually we see these tails, these topping and bottoming tails happen near the top. Obviously, here's a tail at the top, means to the downside. We got long tail down at the bottom, usually means there's support. And here we have some tails at the top. So we could start to see the transportation sector start to roll over and move over. We've seen some other tails over here where price rallies up, closes back down, and we see some selling coming after that. So if we start to see this is where we're going to start to see the volatility index start to spike up as stocks start to sell off, and we should see precious metals and bonds start to firm up and find a bottom. But the question is it going to happen today, or is it going to take another few trading sessions for that to unfold? Anyways, that's it for now. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.